All right, welcome to Breakfast with Jim Jesus. And I know it's usually not breakfast. It's not breakfast time for me, but you know it's 5 a.m. somewhere. Just like my co-host would say, it's 5 p.m. somewhere when he gets to get ready to drink. But we are here with Prom and Shani, who was just in a debate. I don't think she would say 5 p.m. somewhere, but Prom would.
It doesn't matter what time it is. You can drink whatever time you want. There's no ethical reason you can't.
Drinking it's an art. You ought to be drinking all the time.
Well, if you define deontology by this, right? So we should not bury the lead. We should talk about what we're talking about, and that is this fine debate, this two-on-two verse on ethics of abortion rights that was on Mr. Dapper's channel not even 30 minutes ago. that just wrapped up.
Holy shit, Voluntarist Japan, huh?
Yeah, Voluntarist. Hey, Voluntarist Japan. How's it going? By the way, contact that hacker and take this guy out. He's been annoying me lately. Anyways, so we're talking about this debate, and Shiny was in it. I was not. I was approached to do this, and I was like, Shane wouldn't want me there anyway. But I don't have a horse in this race, I guess. Is that the right term? I don't have a horse in this race, considering that the arguments were going to be solely around the ethical reasons for abortion. And I was like, well, I think ethics are largely a spook, so I'm out. I'm out. And man, was this debate a shit show. So
shit.
Since you were there, do you want to frame it? Shiny?
Me?
Yeah, since you were there, don't you want to frame this debate?
Oof. Well, so it was supposed to be Shane and I were the foreshers, and we agreed that if we were going to do it this week, we would do it purely on ethics, because Shane and I made the mistake of assuming everyone knew what that means when we're talking about Shane's concept of ethics. But it was supposed to be today, and then it wasn't supposed to be today, and then it happened today. And I didn't know who my partner was until literally like 10 minutes before. And it kind of started off really weird because Shane and I allegedly share the same, set of ethics that we go off of, deontological ethics.
Allegedly.
And the other two, while I appreciate my partner being able to kind of parrot and reiterate when people were trying to strawman me, he was going off of some other religious-esque thing, and then the other guy was consequentialist-ish? Question mark?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a mess.
He barely has a brain.
LSP, and I didn't notice, but I did notice that something was wrong about me saying LSP. But I'm glad that Pragmatic Culture let us know why I was having a problem with it. LSP is a character from the wonderful animated show Adventure Time, Lumpy Space Princess. So thank you for letting me know why. So yeah, so the whole debate was, my assessment was, and you saw it in the chat, was I don't necessarily agree with your ethics because I'm not an NAP subscribing libertarian. Okay, whatever. But the only person that was really remaining consistent the whole entire time was you and Pragmatic, even though you guys had different kind of sets of ethics, so to speak.
Yeah, we stayed within our school of what we were looking at. We stayed with it.
Yeah. And so yeah, Pragmatic was coming at this from well, there is a God, and my God forbids abortion, ergo it's wrong. And you were coming at it from a NAP kind of standpoint, do no harm, right? Or don't initiate kind of force or violence against people.
Yeah. And
abortion would fall into that category. At least that's how it's practiced today, which is interesting because Shane Killian has made multiple videos on multiple occasions talking about the deontological ethics, specifically the NAP, and he even sort of agrees, but then he just seems to forget everything. And has to look up the definition of deontology in the middle of the debate.
Yeah, and right before he did that, he described it wrong. Mm-hmm. He was comparing it to consequentialism in a similar way, as opposed to in a opposite way.
I'm going to say, do we need to do an esoteric entity here? And do we need to look over his videos again and see whether any of them are actually, like if they're as good as we remembered them?
Well, it's only consequentialism if it's malicious, though. So we have to remember this.
You need to I'll probably do it all.
You're not going to top that. Don't even try.
Let me get a whiskey.
Deontology.
But yeah, he ended up coming to the conclusion that if the consequence doesn't change, then it's the same. It was really weird.
But yeah, the whole point of deontology is that there's duties that one should either follow, and the NAP is one of them, right? And you should follow it regardless of the consequences. And he just kept trying to inject, like, well, the consequences of this, the consequences of that. I'm like, wait. You've made multiple videos talking about how, consequences don't matter. This is the ethics of things. This is your duty to do these things. How?
Yeah.
How are you?
I think the weirdest example he gave was with the guy who's brain dead but still like, functional pain, right?
The Terry Schiavo.
I don't know, but he was like injecting him with morphine is the same as just not continuing to feed him. Whereas it's just not by these standards. It's not the same standard.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, it's comedic. It's a property contention. It's literally one of them is invading the guy's property, injecting with more morphine, and one of them is not providing your property. Not.
Right.
But yeah, if we recognize the guy is alive at this point, then yes, you're violating him, and you don't know why he wasn't able to understand that. And then once he didn't understand that argument, he went straight back to abortion, which was even harder for him to understand.
What I wanted to know was what was this whole sleepwalking thing? Because
oh my god,
I didn't understand what the heck he was trying to say, unless Shane was trying to say that it's okay to kill people who are sleepwalking because they're not really they don't have will over their actions. They're just kind of...
Yeah, he was kind of trying to say the opposite, that if a sleepwalking person tries to kill you, that they're not acting of a will, so you can't react. But the problem is a sleepwalking person is acting of a will. It just sucks that they're not really conscious of any input.
And even then, if he was right and it didn't have any will, right, then Jim would be correct. You could peacefully
peacefully sunset him.
Peacefully sunset the sleepwalkers.
But the thing is, insane people who are sleepwalking, do have wills.
Oh my god, the insane people one was awful, because it's like, okay, so the insane person's trying to kill you, and it's like, yes, okay, his will is that he's trying to kill you.
And once that was...
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Once that was proven to him, he tried to switch to the sleepwalking argument, which was even more confusing, because that's not really how that works, but whatever.
Yeah, people do weird things when they sleepwalk. So, I mean... But at the same time, if someone is it doesn't matter if the person has will or not. If someone's on a rampage and you're going to die from it, yeah, right. Shouldn't you have the right to defend yourself? I mean, like if a tornado is coming towards your house, right? Are you saying like, oh, we shouldn't prepare for it, or shouldn't try to avoid it, or try to stop the tornado by like reversing the winds with magic
means you can,
technology or something? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it just was a weird thing to say. Like, if the will is completely shut down, then, yeah, you can react to it because you're not violating a will.
Yeah, I mean, it also just isn't a situation that applies to the child that's just a will that can't yet actually...
It depends on the child, right?
Okay, Sargon. His nose comes forth.
Oh, actually...
So I'm 2 for 2
Jim,
hinting pedophilic comments on my fucking live streams.
You know his whole ethical you-know-what? It kind of is weird that he recognizes that because that's not doing harm to anyone, right? That's okay, but the just removal without doing harm is the same thing as doing harm to him.
Yeah, so there was like the big point, and I noticed that someone who had the unfortunate name of his YouTube channel, ED. I'm not like abbreviating his name. It was just the letter E and then DEE or something like that. I can't remember. I was like, that's an unfortunate name. But anyways, he was like, well, what does it matter? I mean, if they're both ways, the baby's going to die. And it was like, no, well, no. It's consistent. Because the point is, the abortion would be the murder. So like you pull the baby out and you're killing the fetus. You're jamming a rod through its skull and it's effectively aborting the life of that fetus. If it was a life, right? And the other one is you're just taking it out and putting it aside. Is so long as like the act of removing isn't killing the kid, but the natural elements of being outside of the body and not being able to get nutrition, or it's not breathing yet because you have to spank it or something. I don't know how it works. I don't know how babies work. Okay, kids are sticky and they ask too many questions and I hate them. But like that's what's killing it, not you removing it. And you could say, well, that's the same thing. But at one point, this baby is going to be born anyway. And if you do the same thing to the baby after it's born naturally, it's still going to suffer the same consequences. It's not gonna be breathing. It's not gonna it's not gonna be able to eat. It's gonna eventually starve and die, or run out of oxygen and die. Because so long as you haven't like initiated breathing, it's not gonna breathe.
Yeah, but the thing is, dying isn't the same as being killed. Like,
right?
No one ever was like, he was killed by natural causes. Like, excuse me.
So what is Voluntarist Japan says, by this standard, the mentally ill and children can be killed, a la Chase Rachel's Rothbardian conception that an understanding of rights is required to exercise them. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. I don't know if that was Rothbard. I think that was Rand who said that. Like, I think Rand said, like, when an animal asks me if it can enhance rights, then I'll respect it.
Which is a kind of dumb language. It's kind of a good idea, because what happens if an African asks you, excuse, like, you won't understand. They're not going to be speaking in what?
Yeah.
What? It's sort of like a witty.
I didn't hear it say respect my rights, kill it.
It's not like it's a witty put down instead of an actual argument.
Yeah. I think that's what she was really going for. Just more of the thought-provoking statement rather than an actual argument. Yeah. So Rothbard's gay. Why are you saying this? Am I chat wrong?
LSP kept doing the, so what you're saying is...
Yeah.
And then getting mad at me for saying, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, because he just wanted to be able to say it and then destroy it because then he look right. But, like, no. I told you. You should actively speak over this man because he is of zero utility.
At first you told me to let him speak, and I was like, okay, fine. But I really just... Your instinct when someone is literally taking what you said and saying you just said, like, almost the fucking opposite of it is to go, what? And then everyone was like, oh, Shiny, you really need to not interrupt people. It's like, you're making a claim that I've said something that I literally just didn't say.
Even then, has no one seen LSP's previous debates? Like, literally all he does is speak over people. It's like, oh, right, nice.
Oh, what was the name of that woman that interviewed Jordan Peterson? She was like, what you're basically saying
Kathy
is...
Newman.
There we go. She was basically pulling Kathy Newman's on you, the whole debate. Yeah. Arthur, cool by me, mostly. Mostly, yes, mostly. He's cool by me, too. Mostly.
But everyone, like, by the end was like, after the cameras went off, basically, was like, oh, I don't think he was trying to misrepresent you. He was just trying to understand you by saying the opposite of what I just said.
Well, you have to remember that LSP is brain dead. You can't expect him to... I mean, you're asking quite a bit to keep him, to have him understand you. That's a tall order.
His 3 brain cells are working real hard here, guys. Come on.
Give the guy a break. give the Thumpy Space Princess a break, please. This is Shane's position, is that he's a deontologist. He subscribes to the NAP. He agrees that he has like serious moral qualms with abortion, but as soon as anything, it seems like anything that he doesn't like, comes around, or something that he does like comes around, deontology goes out the window, and he's suddenly he's a David Friedman. Yeah, suddenly he's David Friedman all over the fucking place. So you can't. This is completely
because he doesn't actually care about consistency. He cares about being in Shane Killigan land.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Which is why everything he doesn't like is a liar.
That was the other thing, actually. So every time I would say, can I respond, right? Because they kept telling me I was interrupting, but people would go on and back and forth, and I would try to say anything. I'd be told, no. And then there'd be silence, and I would start trying to say something, and Shane would be like, I think LSP wants to talk. Like, fucking hell, I've been saying I want to talk, literally saying it for like 5 minutes.
Well, it's because you're the whammons. I've noticed that this happens a lot. Women will talk, and dudes will think that they've talked too long. That's a thing.
I mean, there's a study on that, but...
Can we just also say that if LSP joins another goddamn debate, we will have a fucking revolution. Jesus Christ.
It's so bad.
Hashtag Ellie now.
I just...
Automated Asuka says... am I saying that right? Osaka. There we go. Osaka says, lie, you're all liars.
Lie. You make me sick.
Oh, please tell me I have that somewhere.
I'm very impressed with the fact that that Shane didn't yell at me.
Yeah.
Surprised.
But I guess that was because he was the one getting to do all the lying today about what I was saying and what I wasn't saying, about what deontology means.
If Shane was actually honest in that debate, I could have been like, okay, fair show, good job,
especially
Shane.
At the end, because he complimented me, and I appreciate that, but...
But honestly, Jesus Christ, in that, there was some very, very, very painful, just suffering level dishonesty.
I have to play this video real quick. Give me a second.
We agree.
Lie! Outright lie! No liar! Lie! You make me sick! Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe?
It's truly beautiful.
Shane Killian should just upload this and at the person he's responding to instead of making a new video every time.
It would be easier and probably a better video.
Yeah.
I was trying to, not... How do I put it? I was trying not to go into it with the mindset that he was going to be kind of dishonest about my position, especially when I heard that he was planning to argue on purely ethics, because I'm like, I can't figure out how you would get to this conclusion. But, and especially with the video he released, 2 days ago, which is literally just completely lying about another person's position. They didn't even have a... But I tried, and I got, maybe 4 minutes in before I realized, no, he's just gonna continue to lie about my position until I clarify it so much he can't continue.
And I like just the irony of Shane Killian being unable to understand property rights.
Yeah, this is the video. The lying about lying to women.
It's awful.
Yeah, basically the point of this video is that...
Thank you, Zora. Very cool.
Yeah, that this I don't even know what the name of this channel is.
Funker Tactical.
Yeah. Is lying to women by teaching them to, instead of getting a gun and protecting themselves with a gun, what they should do is just try to fight back. And then he juxtaposes clips. So you see the girl fighting, and he juxtaposes clips what really happens when women try to fight back. Your average woman tries to fight back against, say, a male attacker. Usually doesn't end very well.
Those are actually in the original video. He provided Funker Tactic. Yeah. Yeah,
he interjected. That's what I meant. But you can see, this woman, she works out. she's pretty beefy for a woman, right? So this is definitely a video for people who are training in MMA. So yeah, see, there's a video he's juxtaposing where a woman just gets beat up by trying to fight back. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, he's like this is a bad thing for you to be teaching women. You shouldn't do this. When the video is designed for women who do this, And there's other videos on the channel talking about how to defend yourself properly with a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that first clip Shane kind of shows where she like does this weird like judo flip thing. I don't know what martial arts are. And it, like she like wraps her legs around him and whatnot and pulls him to the ground. The reason the original video brings that up is because that's a terrible idea. And the best bet is just a sudden burst of energy to get them like surprised and to back off.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the entire point. That even like he has a caption on it. Cool move, eh? He's aware this is a bad thing. This isn't what you should teach them from ground one or from day one. And Shane basically frames it like that's what he's trying to teach them, when in reality it's the sudden turn and like frantic, like grabbing, punching, kicking is what he's trying to tell them. Like, you need to do a sudden, quick burst of power to give him something to think about. Not to win, not to knock him over, just to get him to let go. And he makes it as if he's like trying to teach them, this is how you win in a street fight.
It looks like someone like it looks like Martial Tactical Defense. I don't. That's the same channel.
No, Funker Tactic. Like even Mr. Eyebuggers, like, I mean, he wants to tell everyone how he knows how to break someone's arm, which is anyway. Even he's like, I don't think that's what he was trying to say.
Was it Hugh Zinker? I see him comment on my stuff every once in a while. Hi, by the way, in case you're watching this. So you don't actually disagree with anything he says in the video. You just think he should also have mentioned that arming yourself with a gun would be, and knowing how to use it before, would be an effective in certain situations. Seems like an on target for Lord Killian video. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are kind of noticing, something's wrong. Mm-hmm. Even our Lord and Savior, Midnight Phantom, had commented something to the effect of like, I don't know about this. I can't find it because he has me blocked, but I saw it on...
What Midnight Phantom commented was misrepresenting the guy further by saying he was anti-gun, where the guy is not anti-gun because Midnight Phantom doesn't do research. But there is a comment thread in there.
See, I was being charitable. I tried being charitable. It's not like I'm always out for blood. I actually thought he was the voice of reason. Okay.
I'm the manipulator.
Okay. That's so bad.
But yeah. No, there's a comment thread in there that Killian comments on. But basically the first comment in it is, you know, this guy also does videos with guns. This seems really weird. And he's like, I checked his channel and all the videos with guns are about how to disarm a gun, which is a weird, like, it sends the wrong message still. And so people just started replying to him with links to his various videos explaining how to use guns, why you need a gun, comparing guns.
Let's see.
Because that was just plain a lie. That was straight up a lie.
I'll just look for firearm. How martial arts completes your firearm training. Clearly. Do gang members make for good firearm instructors? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there telling you. Oh, this is I think he's promoting a firearm right there. Yeah, clearly all of these are about removing firearms. Mm-hmm. Problem with martial arts and firearms instructors today. Yeah, looks like this show is pretty pro gun. Doesn't look like they're
yeah.
So
but Shane never replied to everyone sending him videos proving he was wrong.
So guys, we just real quick say Shane Killian may indeed be. Ooh, that's a Safety Harbor firearms 50. That's a boo.
We do have other people in the call. I don't know if they're wanting to talk at all.
Yeah, no one's...
Or they just wanted to hear it super live, I guess.
Say hi.
I'm not going to call them out by name unless they want to talk. So.
Oh, I'll talk.
Yeah. So what do you think about all this broccoli?
Well, see, I'm pretty new to this side of things, but you know, I normally appreciate Shane Killian. I think he makes some good content.
I agree with that.
But yeah, this last video, and I'd actually just watched the one you're talking about, right? Yeah, the self-defense video, right, and I kind of could agree if that's what was happening, but you've pretty much showed examples now that that's not in fact what's occurring. That this guy, and I believe most people who are self-defense trainers for women would tell them the first thing they need is a Smith and Wesson in their purse, but I think that's pretty obvious.
Not even in your purse. Just get a holster. Like it. Honestly, they look nice. Just get a holster, jeez.
Even if this guy, right, didn't like guns on a personal level, what he's showing, the very quick burst of energy, I think Shane is looking at this from like the lens of like not to be all sexist up in here, but like of a man. When men get into fights, the goal usually is to win or overpower. When a woman is being attacked by someone who wants to rape her on the street, no one cares if she wins. She cares if she gets out of there.
Yeah.
So it's not about, of course, you can't overpower him, but you can shock him. You can make it painful enough for him to back off. So like, even if he personally didn't like firearms, what this video is showing isn't harmful. He's not setting some expectation that she's gonna like pin him to the floor and call the police and handcuff him and do some sort of fancy twist. Like no one is
Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, no one is getting this this impression from this. It's literally come at him as strong, as fierce as you possibly can. Go for vital points quickly. This is what they should teach women in unarmed combat. And that's entirely what they should teach women in unarmed combat.
Yeah. I mean,
I've got some experience with self-defense, and one of the biggest things you're taught is to create space. And if you can get away from a violent situation, get away.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty big guy, and that's my solution.
Yeah. And there's also a saying, it's like if you're in like certain feet, I think like 5 feet. If it's a gun versus a knife, and within the range isn't within like 5 feet or so, the knife usually wins. So.
It's actually farther than that. It's about 13 feet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Really, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. There's also the fact that most people don't want to like carry a gun everywhere they go. Sure, if they know they're going to be out on the night of the town, or they want to open carry or close carry, that's probably something that they do. But if they're like, I'm just going to go to the store and get some eggs real quick, I'm only going to be gone for like 5 minutes. I'll leave the piece at home. That's what a lot of people do.
I'm going to be carrying.
And for women who carry it in their purse, whereas you can argue that's maybe not the most efficient way to carry your gun because it isn't. If she's just suddenly grabbed from behind, you think she's going to have the time and coordination to ruffle through her purse, get the gun, turn around and shoot him?
Oh.
No, that's not happening.
And a lot of times, usually what they're after is the purse. So not only do they have your purse, they also got your piece.
Yeah.
21-foot rule for police, by the way. Okay.
Guns are expensive as shit. Jeez.
Well, they're not that expensive.
A nice one is.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, I can't tell you, I don't know a whole lot about the technicalities of guns, but if you go to, like, this, like, sports store, I see some for, like, $60.
Yeah, but they're probably trash.
Yeah. They're probably trash. They might be trash. I have no clue. Like a lot of a gun's use is to scare people, to be fair.
True. But if you're gonna get one, you wanna, like, penetrate an assailant and the 5 assailants behind him. You want to at least get a nice holster for it.
That's what you're.
Just
in case you jumped by a gang.
Yeah,
that's standing in a perfect line.
The deterrent factor to weapons is the assumption that people may be armed. The deterrent factor is not seeing the weapon. That's actually not a deterrent.
Is that why states which have like more guns have typically a lesser death?
If I pull out a gun and you don't know much about guns and I'm pointing it at you, your assumption isn't going to be that I don't know how to use it and that isn't going to fire and that it isn't going to hurt you.
That's a gamble that no one wants to take.
Well, that's just the lethality. You've escalated the situation automatically to life or death, which is the right response. So
that's what I'm saying. So even if I don't know how really to fire it, even if I can look like I am holding it correctly, even if it's got a high fail rate, if they don't know that, and I don't divulge any like body language that says I'm unsure about it, it's a good deterrent.
The reason I say it's not a deterrent is because there is an action that's happening already. Like, but if you assumed, like, if 100% of society was walking around either with concealed or unconcealed weaponry, that would be the deterrent.
Okay, that's fair. What I meant is more, it can deter a situation from going further as far as harming you. If you can get it out and show.
Oof.
And that appears to be how most self-defense cases go. But I mean,
Yeah,
realistically,
no,
if you're pointing a weapon at somebody, you should already be firing the weapon. That's how we're taught, anyway.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about someone who doesn't know how, and it's a really cheap gun. The other person isn't going to think, if they were going to shoot me, they'd have done it.
I'd just like to interject here. Sometimes you might not be, like, willing to pull a gun on somebody, like if it's your boss or a drunk coworker or something that's trying to come on to you too hard, then, I mean, pulling the piece on them would probably get them to back down, but that would wreck your relationships with them.
Well,
right,
there's a term for that, and it's called brandishing at that point.
I think what we're talking about is, like, if someone grabs you or starts to, like, advance towards you in a, like, aggressive manner, and you're like, nope, Satan be gone.
I would shoot through myself in that situation, but that's just...
Yeah, that's basically, like, law enforcement training, military training, and...
Excuse me?
And the personal... I know. Hate on me later. But,
wait. They shoot through them.
Oh, no, not that. No, I'm sorry, not that part. I'm just talking about...
I thought we had some hardcore niggas on the street now.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
No, but the kind of... If you feel a threat, you shoot. Like, that's... Basically, your weapon should only ever point at something that you intend to kill.
Right.
And that's basically
you
what
aim
I'm
to
saying
destroy, right?
Well,
Do not
end the
yeah,
threat.
anything you don't want.
But the point I was making was sometimes that's not an option.
Yeah. But I would say if they have an actual, like, if you're genuinely worried that they're going to harm you and they're not going to listen to you saying, no, stop, like, bothering me, like, and it's getting physical, I don't see why you would be more worried about your relationship with them deteriorating than your physical safety.
Well, also, just, yeah.
Like, Teen, if you got really drunk and started trying to pin me against a wall, fuck you, I'm pulling a gun out on you.
Do not point guns.
I mean, that's not... I mean, it's not ethically unpermissible to do that.
Well, I'm just saying, at that point in time, I don't care as much about our relationship as I do about getting out of there without being harmed by you. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you're bigger than me and that I can't just push past you or something. Like, sure, if there's another route I can do to reasonably get out of there without harming either of us. But
4'6" anime waifu.
Well, if he's a 4'6" anime waifu, I would just gently pick him up and walk around him. But if you're like 280 pounds, which is like well over double me, and you're like 6'4" or something, and you're like trying to like shove me into a wall and stuff, no, I don't care for the.
So if you're saying that your boss was like that, you just ice him.
Yeah, most rapes happen from people you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the other thing that he's not considering with this whole thing is like dudes usually have like the ego thing where it's like if someone challenged me in a fight in the street, it's like, well, fuck, I can't pussy out. I look lame to all my friends. Whereas girls don't. They're just like, oh, I'm so glad you got away from that situation. So, kicking them in the nuts and running is an option for them. If were I to do that, if I were to do that, everybody like, dude, that was. Why did you do that? Why couldn't you just fight him like a man? Yeah. So I mean, he's assuming that women have like the same ego kind of thing where it's like, oh no, it's not that you have to like get away from this guy. You also have to beat him up and show him like you're the boss. It's like no.
If anybody's still under any illusion of having your manhood challenged by not standing up and taking the fight, remember that Marine that shot up them people in California at the bar. He got his ass kicked by the people who left, went back and shot the people who didn't stand up for him. So I'm just saying, this is not the 1970s where you could go fisticuffs on somebody.
Yeah. Also, like, if you're really so concerned with looking cool or whatever and standing your ground, keep in mind, all it takes is for you to get knocked to the ground once, hit your head wrong, and go to sleep.
Yeah, but that's the premise that he's relying on, is that women have that same sort of need to protect their ego in a fight,
Dominant,
rather than just try to create some kind of diversion or whatever and get away. That's their primary goal, is like not to get killed or raped. That's their goal. Whereas dudes, it's not. It's usually like, don't get my ass beat and don't look like a pussy in front of my friends. We have very different goals. Unless you're getting raped in the shower or something.
Dude, did you see the picture, this video, right? The guy was trying to rob the store, right? And he literally was like the biggest T-pose asshole. He racks his gun, puts it on the desk right in front of the cashier, right? Just to look like a badass, right? The cashier picks it up and shoots himself. All the alarms go off and the guy just lays down. He's like, well, I'm fucked. It's the most beautiful. Trying to T-pose, and then someone just like, oh yeah, well, get fucked.
Wait. Did the cashier shot themselves, or they
Yeah,
shot the
suicide.
person?
No, they blow their own brains out instead of shooting the guy. Because it's just like...
Oh my fucking god.
That's
like-
literally the best example of I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the guy gets arrested then. He doesn't just get get out. Like, no, the guy was basing it on basically I either get shot or I leave with all the stuff. And the cashier's like, nope.
Cashier's
But,
like,
yeah.
fuck you nigga, you're gonna be your ass raped in jail.
If it's a genuinely and good faith thing that he was just not understanding how I got from point A to point B, like, I guess it's nice of Shane to say that, like, he wants to hear how I got there, but I can't help but honestly not think that's a genuine thing. I think it's disingenuous, and I think he knows that his position is incorrect and why.
No, but there is credence to give to the other side of the argument, which he did not do. Like, there was another argument you could make from a deontological position, but I don't know if he was willing to make it, which is that, that the fetus, you can't prove that it's human life. You don't know when the ghost enters the shell, and it seems as though it's not at least not until it's viable. So abortion is fine, because what you're basically doing is legislating women what they can and can't do with their own body, and women have their own autonomy, and to deny them would be a contradiction with the non-aggression principle and self-ownership.
I think the reason he didn't
But I'm saying, like, that's the other side of the argument. He never tried to bring that up, and I thought that was kind of bizarre.
Stabbing someone is also something you do with your own body. It's just, the thing is, it involves theirs. So that's what makes
right, and
right. But see, that's the debate. But I'm saying that that's not my position. I'm saying that that's the debate that you can have. But that's not the debate you had. The debate you had was deontology is true, but in this particular instance, I like consequentialism. It's like deontology is a pretty hard line in the sand. You can have kind of like rules that you have with consequentialism. It's like, yeah, like I'm a consequentialist, but I do have some principles. Whereas you can't really do that with deontology. It's like, no, deontology is consequences don't fucking matter. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Rules matter.
You have to judge every action as in a vacuum, basically.
The thing is, I was actually ready for him to make an argument like that. That's why I prepared like the little facts about what levels of development are at what point. Specifically because I was ready for him to try to make some sort of argument about, well, you can't prove X, Y, or Z. And it's like, okay, but we do know this, and we do know this, and we do know this, and these things all lead us to go, okay, this is responsible for this this will. And so, but he didn't even come at me with any of that. He never addressed anything around that. Yeah. So, like, yeah. He had no contention.
Terrible. I'm going to post it up just to show everybody how terrible it is. Okay. Oh. The picture that Oxy posted in the chat, I'm putting that on the screen. Just to show you how terrible of a person Oxy is. This is what deontologists actually believe.
How terrible of a person he is. He rapes children. How worse can you get? I didn't realize I was in this chat.
Rick, this is a stream.
Oh, now both going to jail.
Yeah, you should have renamed the chat. Hey, this is actually going live on YouTube right now, by the way.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe Jim Jesus is gonna lose another channel.
Oh.
I'd get demonetized before I was ever monetized.
And
No,
I need to tell the truth.
YouTube's just gonna take your entire channel
The
down.
Fredo
Like,
Frog
Jeez.
sexually assaulted me.
It's true.
Actually, Prom, you were telling me about that kid in like the 3rd grade or something.
9/11 was not a violation of the NAP, says Automated Asaka.
Hold on. I'm trying to find the video of it for you, for everyone. I'm sure it's pretty grim, but
9/11 was caused by Mr. Clean.
No. We all know it's Nyan Cat. If you want to know what happened to that meme, you know.
I'm gonna be a Nyan Cat.
So yeah, and what's interesting is that I had, I think, 4 videos on my old channel about Shane Killian. I had one that was a satirical video where I just kept calling him a liar over and over again, in which I probably made one of the funniest jokes I ever made in my entire life, which was calling him, you couldn't be more of a liar if your name was Lysander Fiberstein. Every time I even go back and listen to that, I just start cracking up laughing. Anyways, I had that video, and then I had a response video that wasn't satirical, but it was like responding to him responding to my satirical video, which I took down. I also took down a live stream where the first like 20 minutes or so, I went through one of his videos or debates or something like that. I took that one down. By the way, that one didn't have any reference or mentions of his name at all, except for inside of the video. You had to be watching it to know what I was talking about. I ended up taking down all of the videos except and a playlist. Now the playlist, there was 9 videos on this playlist. Let me pull up the oh, I'm actually on this account. I can actually just pull up the playlist since it's private. Yeah, it's called Shane DK is a Bitch. It's right there. So as you can see, all of these videos, except for 3, which I'll talk about, were gone. But he was upset that I had this playlist on my videos on my channel as well. And he said that like I have a playlist hosted of like a bunch of like hit pieces on it. But the point of those videos wasn't to say that I agree with these people's videos. The videos were pointing out a glaring problem that I have with Shane is that anytime that he's confronted with any kind of criticism, it's just insanity. Like all caps, you're a liar, you're all that, you know. And just so that was the reason why I had it on there. Like there was a guy who was clearly like a left winger, and I didn't agree with them, but he was really pointing out on one of these videos that like, look at the way he responds to my criticism, like, you know.
Okay.
But
so
all of the videos are gone. All of the videos are gone except for 3 videos, 2 of which were mine. One of them is now private, which is the Shane DK Liar Liar Pants on Fire. Shane Killian is most dishonest liar who ever fibbed. Is a satirical video. I'm not actually calling him a liar. And then the Curious Case of Shane Killian by Trudel Tom. And this playlist needed to go according to him. So anyways, I unlisted all the videos. And I for no reason, because I wasn't going to be participating in this debate, but I thought it would be like a formality to Mr. Dapperton and be like, look, he's upset with me because of this. I have no interest in interacting with him. He has no interest, whatever, vice versa. So I'm just like, maybe I could just, mellow down the tension by removing a lot of these videos. So I unlisted all of these things. And he said that because he can still search for them on Google, he knows that I was lying about taking these videos down. And it's like, oh my God, you want me to private them too? So people who know the links and want to review it for whatever reason, they can't. Fine, I'll make them all private. And I ended up making them private. And then he told them, like, yeah, and I know he's gonna relist them too, because he already took these videos down once. I have never taken these videos down, ever. I had no reason to take these videos down, ever. They've always been up. I've never taken them down. I've never unlisted them. I've never privated them, ever. Ever, ever, ever. But for some reason, he thinks that, like I'm scheming and, like, oh, I'm going to hide these videos and get them in a state of, like, cool and calm relaxedness, and then all of a sudden I'm going to re-upload them just to piss him off. It's like, well, I have no reason to take these videos down now. But I did for some reason, and I'm having a hard time explaining to myself why I did that. But here we are. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But here I am making a video response or a live streaming response about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
You say you don't know what you're doing anymore. I'm posting Garfield porn into a server where I don't know any of the people in it. I don't know where I'm going in life.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now.
Eric is just here to ruin Jim's life.
Jim, you see my?
I used to watch Garfield, the cartoon. I used to read the comic strip. It was a vital part of my childhood that you're raping right now. That you're literally raping right now. This is a violation of my deontological ethics.
I look at the Garfield cartoon every day of the week. Jesus. And it keeps me going, to be honest.
Okay. Jim, you
I have found something more cursed than Garfield porn. Don't worry, it's not gore.
It makes me happy just to hear someone say Garfield porn.
I'll post a picture of John. How about that? That's as far as it goes. I'm not going any further than
That's disgusting, Shane. Holy shit.
It looks like the messed up Krabby Patty off the SpongeBob, where he kept it for like 5 weeks.
Jeez. I don't even know what we're doing anymore. So, in summary, Shane Killian does occasionally
watching your life fall apart.
Yeah, Shane Killian does occasionally make good videos. Occasionally, he doesn't. And if you disagree with him, he goes ballistic. And he's terrible at debating.
Why?
But see, here's the thing. I agreed to an extent of what Shane's position is. As I think that I have a problem with it morally, but I'm not a napper, and I have problems with it being illegal as well. I think there's some serious problems that come along with it, consequentially, right, from consequences. But after watching this debate, I wanted to put a gun in my mouth because my views were not fairly represented at all.
Yeah.
Shotgun in the mouth, toe on the trigger. That's where I am right now.
Honestly, that debate was horrible. Just all over. It was a total shit show. Honestly.
Yeah. So, was anything else, or is that it? Should we wrap this up?
No, I'm not finished talking about my Garfield porn.
Start your own YouTube channel about Garfield porn, and there you go.
Don't test me, bitch.
I'm not testing you. I know you'll do it. That's the problem.
The sad thing is, he will as well.
I know.
Everyone else will have to suffer for. But yeah. In summary, Shane Killian's bad. LSP's worse. Meteor now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
how
before
about
we
no more
end,
LSP?
actually, I don't know who it was because I couldn't recognize everyone's voice at the time because this stream hadn't started. We had just gotten in a voice chat, but like I said in the chat, someone I think LSP, but it could have been Prague, but I think LSP threw a giant hissy fit, not giant, but this very quick burst of a hissy fit about how Mr. Dapperton made it very clear to me.
Whoa. Wait, hold on. What did he make it very clear to you about? You broke up.
Good job cutting out Shiny.
Dapperton made it explicitly clear to him in DMs that we were only discussing feelings and ethics. And I had to be like, that's not the same thing. And he's like, yes, it is. It's effectively the same thing. But I don't know who it was who said this. But I
cannot imagine
LSP.
Pragmatic. Yeah, I cannot
That's
imagine
LSP.
Shane or Pragmatic saying that.
Yeah, so that was my conclusion, but I'll admit, at the time, I didn't know whose voice it was. I assumed it was LSP even at the time, but I didn't know his voice.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
I definitely would say that you won the debate. Even though I disagree with you, I still say you won the debate.
Jim's just out here I accept that you won the debate. But I'm sorry.
Agree with
I
that.
agree.
But I believe the question is, has she made us sandwiches yet?
I would totally make you all sandwiches,
No.
but not whatever abomination Sheen just posted. That's disgusting.
You tell women to cook you sandwiches. Cook me a sandwich.
Jim,
Make me a sandwich.
That's a sin, Sheen.
Look at the one Sheen just posted.
Ugh.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm going to post this right now.
I'm gonna nut to that.
No, those are fruity petals. Stop it. What are you doing?
That's a really good comic.
When I hear the term LSP, that makes me think of the Lost Sperm Project, where people go out and try and find the sperm that's been jacked off into tissues and try to save them from death.
What? What? Wait.
Well, this has been another episode of Breakfast with Jim.
Good.
I think we'll leave it off on a high note.
Leave it there.
I'm glad everyone attended today. I hope
Satan help us all.
Oh, hail Satan.
Hail Satan. All hail Blue Whale.
Hail Satan and worms.
Worms.